Good morning, Davao, Mindanao, North, South, East, and West. This is Gilbert Lopez Martije Katso. For the headlines, weather forecast. Easterlies affecting the eastern section of Mindanao. Local news. Trekkers apologize amid insensitive Mount Apu photos. Acosta vows to fight on. City College of Davao to add over 300 students for AY 2024 to 2025. Luntiang Pluma Award open to school publication. National news. 77th World Health Assembly. Filipinos spending less on food and clothes, more on non-essentials item. International news. Prince William, King Charles came ready to fight during a secret meeting with Prince Harry. Israeli ministers threatens to quit over ceasefire plan. Entertainment news. A Miami drug queen guide to finding Miami's best drug entertainment. That Kind of Love starring Barbie Forteza, David Licauco drops teaser trailer. Featured story. The remote Argentinian community that is saving the stars. Filipinos spending less on food and clothes, more on essential items. Sports news. Ray Nambatak, Kevin Racal join Letran coaches or coaching staff NCAA Philippines. Unexpected friendship leads to Atlas o to Alas Pilipinas subunit ASEAN. Side stories. Trivia. What is Pegasus spyware? How to remove it from your mobile device? Weather forecast. Mindanao will have partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers and thunderstorm due to easterlies, localized thunderstorm, possible floods or flash floods, and landslide during severe thunderstorms. Light to moderate winds for southeast to south with slight to moderate seas. Local news. The provincial government of Davao del Sur has strongly denounced the two trekkers whose culturally insensitive pictures at a stopover station in Mount Apu recently went viral on Facebook, labeling their action as unacceptable and disrespectful to indigenous peoples, or IP, sacred practices. Yvonne Ronya Cagas, governor, expressed her dismay in a statement on May 30, 2024, saying, "Please be reminded of our values and attitude in visiting sacred places. This kind of malicious and posting should be condemned, adding necessary policy to observe wholesomeness and sanctity of our precious attraction must be observed always. The two individuals identified as Katie Lindsay and Luigi Hamarillo issued public apologies, particularly to the Bagubo Tagabawa community. Lindsay stated on her social media account, to indigenous people Bagubo Tagabawa tribe, to the locals, to the tourism of Santa Cruz, and to the people who are affected, especially Apu Sandawa. We sincerely apologize for our mistakes. We are seeking of forgiveness and everyone who has been affected in this matter. And we understand the frustrations being vented out to us, and we believe we deserve it. The mountaineers portrayed inappropriate scenes at the station along the Santa Cruz Trail, known as Bugha Anan, 8.6 kilometers before reaching the summit of Mount Apu, locally known as Apu Sandawa. Following the incident, which trended on May 30, netizens called out the now deleted post and shared their throwback pictures in the area. It's their realm and territory. We are just visitors. Almost respect to their norms, said Rolly Yang Suson Padiranga, who visited the summit last 2021. Meanwhile, a hiker who also reached Bugha Anan reminded her followers to be respectful in every mountain they visited. Take nothing but pictures, pero ayaw sad ingatua na picture oy. Just refrain from posting those kinds of photos. Always respect any mountains and any place that you go to. Diane Polanco posted alongside her old decade photos captured in the area. Maria Belen Mabel Acosta will stay on as the chairperson of the Mindanao Development Authority, despite a Davao court dismissing her Cuaranto petition, while Leo Tesoro Magno has already been appointed as her successor by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. In a statement forwarded to Sunstar Davao on Friday, May 31, 2024, Acosta expressed her disappointment with the court's decision, stating, "My prayer was outright dismissed in court. However, solid and legal arguments were it was not even heard." Despite her setback, Acosta affirmed that her legal team has filed a motion for reconsideration emphasizing her rights under Republic Act 9666, which stipulates that the qualification for the secretary position are not coterminous and not subject to the trust. A motion for reconsideration was already filed by the lawyer. Consequently, I will exhaust all legal remedies available. I will continue to hold office for as long as I can, especially where my signature is needed to complete the process of paperwork that has already commenced, she added. Acosta, who has been perplexed and skeptical since her sudden removal earlier this month, stressed the importance of upholding democracy and distinguishing between political values and the core principles of the government policy. This is more than a personal cause. I feel the obligation to defend RA 9996 or the Mindanao Development Act of 2010 and all its represent. This blatant disregard of Republic Act should not happen again to Mindanao or Minda or anyone. Prevailing laws should not be subject to political wherewithals or personal whims. The stability, integration, and continuity of development works is vital to our common goals for Mindanao, explains the former media practitioner and city councilor. On May 27, just a week after Acosta held a general staff meeting with the agency executive member, the Regional Trial Court Branch 15 presiding Judge Magno C. Duabes dismissed the Cuaranto case against Magno, who took his oath of office on May 21, clarifying the case as an improper remedy. The petition must be dismissed, not only on the ground that it is an improper remedy, as it is not anchored on qualification, but more so on the premise that it is a challenge against an act of President who is immune for suit, even without him invoking the privilege, Duabes said. During a special press conference, May 24, she expressed regret over the current situation of having two secretaries. She said that the position was not vacant and reiterated her presence and active role of the office. She also conveyed sympathy for the Minda staff, acknowledging the difficult position they are in, and expressed embarrassment on behalf of the diplomatic community and the entirety of the Mindanao. City College of Davao to add over 300 students for AY 2024-2025. The City College of Davao, CCD, will be accepting around 300 students for the academic year 2024-2025. Winifredo Cagapi, officer in charge of and president of CCD, said that they are planning to accept another batch of 320 students for the opening of the classes, so that there will be 640 students studying at the college. So last year, we accommodated 320 students. This year, still 320, he said, during the I Speak Media Forum on Thursday morning, May 30, 2024, at the City Mayor's office. Cagapi added that with the dubbed number of students, they will have two shifts in their classes, morning and afternoon. This is because the number of classrooms in the CCD can only accommodate the current numbers or number of students. The CCD president revealed that the city plans to construct a 12-story classroom building to accommodate all students. He said, with the addition of more students, the school plans to hire 8 more teachers. Meanwhile, the CCD is scheduled to accept applicants or applications from June 3 to June 14, and the screening will be held from June 17 to June 21. Enrollment for freshman students will be from July 3 to 5, and for the old students, it will be from July 29 to 31, 2024. Cagapi said that they had yet not added any new programs in the CCD. Some of the programs that the CCD is offering are Bachelor of Early Childhood Education or BEC Ed, Bachelor of Science in Entrepreneurship, BS Entrep, Bachelor of Technical Vocation Teacher Education, BTVT Ed, Major in Computer Programming, and Bachelor of Technical Vocation Teacher Education, BTVT Ed, Major in Heating, Ventilating, Air Conditioning, and Refrigeration Technology. He said that they had to apply to the Commission on Higher Education, CHED, for recognition if they want to add programs to the school. For those who want to apply to the CCD, they should submit the following documents: PSA birth certificate, recent senior high school report card or appropriate ALS certificate, certificate of residency, income tax return ITR, or certificate of low income, and certificate of belonging to the indigenous peoples group. Meanwhile, regarding the implementation of the Reserve Officer Training Corps, ROTC, at CCD, Kagapi said that most of their students are interested in joining but are not required to join. They have a choice to pursue another option under the National Service Training Program, NSTP, which is the Civic Welfare and Training Service, CWTS. The Interfacing Development Intervention for Sustainability, or IDES Incorporated, announced during the iSpeak Media Forum on Thursday morning, May 30, 2024, at the City Mayor's office, that they will open the Luntiang Pluma for school publication. Adrian Claudio de la Cruz, IDES digital campaigner, said they opened the Luntiang Pluma for school publication because they want the younger generation to be aware of the environmental issues in Davao City. We are expecting that all students, publications, universities, colleges, high schools, or even elementary will join in this year Luntiang Pluma 2024. He said during the iSpeak Media Forum on Thursday morning, May 30, 2024, at the Mayor's Office, or CMO. De la Cruz said that as much as they want to accommodate schools from neighboring cities, they will only cater to school publication within Davao City. The deadline of submission for Luntiang Pluma is July 31, 2024. 10 stories will be awarded to journalists and 5 to students' publications winner will receive a cash prize and trophy. Previous winners include Sunstar Davao, Mindanao News, or Minda News, Davao Daily Scoop, and Davao Today. Apart from the Luntiang Pluma, IDES also announced the annual event in partnership with the City Environment and Natural Resources Office, or CENRO, City Agriculturist Office, CAGRO, Davao City Water District, DCWD, Davao Association of Catholic Schools Incorporated, or DACS, and SM Davao, or SM City Davao, organized this year's Lunhao Awards on September 8 to 20, 2024. Ibet Balayon Mahinay, Knowledge Management Officer of IDES, said they will also have a Lunhao Expo this year. She said the expo would highlight the more or less 100 previous Lunhao awardees in the city. We will be highlighting them. We will have an expo to know that the status of their initiatives and to also invite Davaoenos to replicate their initiatives, she said. The Lunhao Awards is an annual event that recognizes green initiatives that could be replicated in the city communities. Some of the previous winners includes Los Amigos, Maningo, Perocho Farm, Mahayag National High School, and Jose Lianes Escoda Elementary School for their excellence and in education and advocacy. National News. In a resounding call to action, the 77th World Health Assembly has recognized climate change as an imminent threat to global health, passing a resolution which underscores the urgent need for decisive measures to confront the profound health risks posed by climate change. The resolution, supported overwhelmingly by member states, presents an overview of the existential threat that climate change poses to human health. The Health Assembly asserts that the radical action in imperative to safeguard the health of the planet, underscoring the interdependence of environmental sustainability and public health, urging the global health community to mobilize on an unprecedented scale. The Health Assembly calls for the amplification and expansion of existing efforts to combat climate change within its core functions. This includes prioritizing health considerations in national and international climate policy frameworks, as well as supporting countries in building climate resilient and low carbon health system. By strengthening capacity building and providing technical support to the National Health Ministry, the action agreed at the Health Assembly will empower countries to implement robust climate-resilient health initiatives tailored to their unique circumstances and to guide cross-sectoral actions that both promote health and contribute to climate change mitigation and adaptation. International news. Prince Harry relations with his father King Charles III and brother Prince William changed forever after the Duke of Sussex published his memoir Spare, in which he made several uncomfortable claims about the British royal family. The Duke of Sussex claimed that even from his memoir, he tried to mend the rift with the other members of the royal family over the year, but that was futile. Speaking openly about the sustained relationship with the other members of the royal family, the Duke of Sussex recalls in his memoir how he had arranged a private meeting with his father, Charles, and his older brother, William, and Frogmore Cottage after the funeral of his grandfather, Prince Philip. Harry explains in his book how he tried to keep his emotion in check. As he explained, he said to his father and his older brother. However, the discussion quickly took a turn for the worse. Two far-right Israeli ministers have threatened to quit and collapse the governing coalition if Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu agrees to a Gaza ceasefire proposal unveiled by U.S. President Joe Biden on Friday. Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich and National Secretary Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir said they were opposed to striking any deal before Hamas was destroyed. Opposition's leader Yair Lapid has pledged to back the government if Mr. Netanyahu supported the plan. The Prime Minister himself insisted there would be no permanent truce until Hamas military and governing capabilities were destroyed and all hostages released. But one of Mr. Netanyahu's advisor later described the plan as something we agreed to and emphasized Israel is not rejecting it, even if they do not consider it a good deal. Mr. Biden's three-part proposal would begin with a 6-week ceasefire in which the Israel Defense Forces IDF would withdraw from populated areas of Gaza. The deal would eventually lead to the release of all hostages, a permanent cessation of hostilities, and a major reconstruction plan for Gaza. But in a post on social media on Saturday, Mr. Smotrich said he told Mr. Netanyahu he would not be a part of the government that agrees to the proposed outline and ends the war without destroying Hamas and bringing back all the hostages. Entertainment news. A Miami drag queen guides to finding Miami's best drug entertainment during Pride Month and beyond. Miami native Tiffany T. Fantasia calls herself Andy Cohen's favorite drag queen. Here are her top picks for soaking up Miami's drug culture. From club kids bars to video lounge, Miami doesn't get its reputation as the perfect year-round tropical gateway for nothing. This vibrant coastal metropolis teems with white sand beaches, striking palm trees, Art Deco architecture, and Latin culture. The city cultural diversity intends to its historical and energetic LGBTQ+ community and queer-friendly party scene. Locals and visitors alike enjoy the lively nightlife and entertaining drag show throughout Miami Beach. We spoke with Miami-based drag queen Tiffany T. Fantasia, a drag artist and comedian who has spent the last 2 decades in Miami's drag scene. A bunch of friends of mine wanted to do drag, and they encouraged me to do it also, says Fantasia. I made 10,000 in tips. That was enough for gas for the whole week. That Kind of Love, starring Barbie Forteza, David Licauco, drops teasers trailer. Barbie Forteza and David Licauco's much-awaited first film together, That Kind of Love, just dropped its Essentials trailer. The teaser videos follows the story of love coach Mila, portrayed by Barbie, who is helping Mr. Perfect, Adam, played by David, find love through her advice. However, the trailer also showed both characters expressing dislike towards each other, denying the possibility of falling in love. As of writing, the film's release date in the Philippines has yet to be revealed. Last year, Barbie and David flew to South Korea to shoot some scenes from the film, which is directed by Catherine Camarillo. It's set to be released not just in the Philippines but globally. Last month, That Kind of Love was selected as a spotlight entry at the Jinshu Arigato International Film Festival in Nagoya, Japan. That love team, also known as Barda, rose in popularity when they played Binibining Clay and Ginoong Fidel in the historical portal fantasy series Maria Clara at Ibarra. Barbie and David are set to star in the upcoming historical action series Pulang Araw with Alden Richard and Sanya Lopez. Featured stories: the remote Argentinian community that is saving the stars. In a jungle of missions, Argentina's northern Green Thumb, one indigenous community, is working to save their ancient knowledge of the night sky. See the Path of the Star of Stars, Domingo Moreira said softly, pointing up to the sky. In Guarani, it is called Berive Rape, the road of the Tapper god. It was a warm summer night, and we are stargazing on a strip of the sand and center of Ivera National Park, a wetland area in northern Argentina. There was no light pollution, and the stars spread brightly across the sky, melting into Ibarra's flat, marshy horizon. The tapir is a nocturnal animal that always walks in the same path between its den and points of food or water. Moreira explained, "At night, the dry leaves trampled by the tapir shines in the moonlight. Our ancestors placed this shining path into the sky. In Spanish, you call it La Via Lactea, the Milky Way." Moreira is the second chief of the Evito Fura Guarani, an indigenous community of about 25 families whose lands fall within the jungle of what is now Argentina northeastern Misiones province. In recent years, the Evito Fura have been working to save and share their ancestral knowledge of the night sky, surrounded by light pollution from Paraguay and Brazil. The largely rural and forest-covered Misiones, home to Iguazu Falls and the far north, is a corridor of darkness. It lies on the Guarani people ancestral land. Filipino consumers are now spending less essential goods and services and consuming more of non-essential items. It seems that, not surprising at all, as the Philippines moves closer to upper middle income economy status, HSBC Global Research said. In May 30 report, HSBC noted a substantial deceleration in the average growth of food, clothing, and household furnishing expenditures in 2023, while the decline of household furnishing was expected amid a high interest rate environment that ruined Filipinos' renovation plans, which are typically funded by credit. HSBC said the weaker demand for food and clothing was surprising. Sports news. Two Colegio de San Juan de Letran basketball alumni will be part of the school coaching staff. Ray Nambatak will be a part of the Knights coaching staff for NCAA Season 100, as confirmed by Letran head coach Alan Ricardo to GMA News Online on Thursday. Nambata, currently with Blackwater in the PBA, was a part of the Letran squad which won in the NCAA men's basketball title in 2015. Ricardo also said Kevin Racal will be part of the coaching staff for Squires under new head coach Willie Miller. Racal was Nambatak's teammate and is currently with Converge. Letran hopes to improve its chances for the title as the Knights finish with 2 wins and 16 losses in Season 99. The Squires, meanwhile, won their second consecutive junior titles. Moments after making history with its first ever AVC medal on Wednesday afternoon, Alas Pilipinas quartet Angel Canino, Cici Rondina, Ia Laure, and Ara Panique turned the Rizal Memorial Coliseum into a dance floor. In a light-hearted moment, the 4 Alas Pilipinas players led their team to victory dance of the hit song Pan Tropico by the rising Filipinos girls group BINI or BINI. On the final day of the Challenge Cup, ASEA called their teammates including Thea Gagate, Julia Coronel, and Jean Nerva to join them and treat as the ecstatic home crowd with an impromptu performance. Our dance group is really just all about spreading good vibes. Of course, it's an unexpected friendship because we used to compete against them back when we were still in UST. Laure told reporters after the 25-23, 25-15, 25-7 win that sealed Alas Pilipinas bronze medal finish. For the side stories, let's watch this.
Are you cooking?
Making pancakes, and we don't have proper measurements. We're not cooks, so we're just gonna have somebody sitting up. See that consistency? That's how you know it's the right thing.
Making the right thing.
Oh, and then we gotta toast this thing up. There we go.
Okay, and you're gonna cook pancake over that oil. No, change it. No, the other one, and change the oil on it. The narrow one, yes, that's one, the narrow one. Okay, no need to just wipe it down. Oh, you wipe it with a hand towel. Turn it off. Ayaw pag naghanag oil, don't put it too much, just a little bit. Because you're cooking a pancake. Yeah. Now. Just
And now for the trivia. What is Pegasus spyware? How to remove it from your mobile device? Pegasus is an advanced form of spyware designed to install it itself on Android and iOS device without any action from the targeted user. Although not a widespread cybersecurity threat, its use by governments around the world has caused concern. Learn more about Pegasus spyware and how to detect it and remove it if your phone is infected. Then help protect your phone from other more common forms of spyware and malware with Norton 360 Deluxe. Pegasus spyware was designed by Israeli cyber intelligence company NSO Group to access sensitive information on the devices of terrorists, criminals, and other people identified as potential threats to the interest of the Israeli government. Pegasus spyware can infect an iPhone or an Android device without any from the victim, and it can track phone calls, location, text messages, and emails. Pegasus spyware inspect the victim's phone through zero-click exploits, meaning the victim doesn't need to click a link or take any other action to trigger the spyware on their device. Once installed on an Android or iOS device, Pegasus can secretly monitor and collect sensitive data. But reading the text messages and emails, accessing the microphone and camera, listening on the phone calls, recording password using a keylogger, tracking the phone locations, surveilling app usage. The information Pegasus collects is secretly uploaded to NSO Group's cloud servers for storage and analysis. Originally developed as an intelligence gathering tool with the aim of preventing terrorist attack, Pegasus spyware has controversially been used to hack the phone of activists, journalists, and even heads of the state. And that's all our news for today. Please like, share, subscribe, and click the bell button for you to be updated of the activity of Pinoy Rob YouTube channel. This is Gilbert Lopez Martí Cacho. Good morning.